Hey guys, it's Danielle. So I just want to jump on real quick and share it's I guess it's not really a story, but it's something that actually recently happened, and it was regarding a dream. So I'll give you a little bit of backstory. So uh, basically, my dead uncle visited. So um, he had passed away. It was kind of tragic. Actually, it was, but he was such a great guy and he was funny and everyone loved him and he just had like the biggest heart. He was more like a brother to me, not so much an uncle. Like we were close in age. He was about 6 years older than me. And so, when he passed away so tragically, he had a lot of things going on in his life that kind of like had him like down in the dumps and whatnot. So, my uncle, he was definitely like, he had like that nice full curly hair on top, and he had premature balding. So he lost his hair at an early age. Very handsome guy, like really good looking. And so he did the whole thing that most guys do in their young age when they don't want to accept that they're balding, is they shave it all off. And so, he used to have a bald head with his goatee, like he was that always has to come in my way when I'm doing video. So anyway, so you know, so getting back to my point, so he had always shaved his head with the buzzers, and so I couldn't help but realize that we had made a pact with one another. So we were both into the same things, like as far as spirituality goes, and and this is so ironic that right before he had suddenly passed, he actually we made a promise to one another and we said, if one of us goes, we promised that we would always give each other a sign, like to know that each other is there. Um, and another strange thing is that, well, the reason why that conversation even came up is because there was a huge handprint on the mirror in the bathroom that we had shared. Okay. Now, this mirror was from like countertop to ceiling, very tall, very high. So, the handprint was huge and it didn't match anyone's, it was just my grandfather and my uncle at the time. But, anyways, um, the handprint was too large to be recognized as one of them. And it was actually so high up, more towards like the ceiling. And sorry, I had to pause for a second. I don't like letting my little one hear this stuff. So, anyway, me and him both thought that it was like my dad, and we were totally convinced of it. And we left it there for weeks. So we would take turns like cleaning the bathroom that we shared and whatnot. And then neither one of us would wash the hand away. We wanted to keep it there because we thought, we both, you know, thought it was like a message from my dad. But my grandmother ended up cleaning it. So we were kind of like pissed off at her for doing that because like we wanted to keep it there. And so that's when we came up with our pact. So we said, you know what, if anything ever happens, we'll always be there for one another and like show signs that we're there. So him and I both ironically ended up moving out of my grandmother's house the same weekend. So he went to his spot, I went to my new place, and I was kind of mad at him because he kind of hijacked my moving truck, and then I ended up having to beg my grandmother and my grandfather to help me move all my stuff to my apartment, and pack everything in their truck. Like I ended up not having a U-Haul at all. And so I was kind of like peed off at that I was like, you never said thank you. You didn't even ask me. My grandmother kind of just like took control of the thing. And she's like, oh, he's just moving a few blocks away. It'll be quick. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, great, fine. Anyway, so then uh, I was kind of upset for like a few days. So I ended up seeing him at my cousin's birthday party. Okay. And so I was like, whatever, let's bury the hatchet. And he finally said that he was sorry. And I was like, it was stupid of me to even be mad. Like, not a big deal. Like, let's just let this go. Like, whatever. So he's like, is there anything I could do to help you? So and I was like, yeah, for sure. I was like, if you could come to my apartment, help me hook up I had a 5 disc DVD player, which I thought I was the ish. Like, having one of those back in the day was like such a big deal. So he had helped me hook that up. And the movie that we put in there, it was the movie, I think the movie that I had in there was Goodfellas. Like he wanted to put the disc in there to like to see if it actually would work. And it did. So that night he goes home, whatever. And I had a dream that night, and in the dream, this is before I knew had anything had happened. He showed me in my bathroom under the medicine cabinet. So you know how you have like the two doors underneath, and there's like the long handles that go this way that you can pull open like that. And in the dream, it showed me that the handle was completely broken in half, and the top half was now horizontal. The bottom half that was broken was now horizontal, so it looked like a equal sign. Okay. So I dreamt of this. I wake up, I go in my bathroom, and lo and behold, what do I see? The handle's broken in half, and the metal is completely as I had seen it. I was completely beyond stunned. I just, now, mind you, I didn't know that this was my uncle at the time showing me in the dream. Okay. So I had a hallway light with new fluorescent bulbs that I had gotten from my job. The guy that was in charge, I worked in Manhattan, and he gave me like a whole bunch of long fluorescent bulbs. And I was like, I made my uncle change the bulbs in the hallway and in the closet area. So now the light kept going on, and I kept turning it off. And then it went on again, and then I turned it off. And then the light went on again without the switch going up. So I was like, okay, like kind of bugs me out a little bit, right? So I think nothing of it. I'm thinking maybe the bulbs, fluorescent bulbs, you know how they're funny, they flicker, like, whatever. And I'm on the bus, I'm on the QX24 bus on Metropolitan Avenue and what was that? Elliott Avenue and Metropolitan. No, Elliott and 69th Street. Yeah. I used to catch the bus there to go. God bless you. I used to catch the bus there to go to work. So I'll never forget that I was on the bus and I got a frantic call from my aunt, freaking out. And she was like crying hysterical. And she's like, he's gone, whatever. It was pretty bad. So I ended up going to work. I was stuck on the bus. Like there was nothing I could do at this point. And I started crying to my boss, and he had let me go home, of course. He let me take a few days to like, digest what just had happened. And it dawned on me like, oh my God, like that was him. Like, he gave me his first sign. Like it had to have been right when he departed. And so I remember I got in my car and I drove to the neighborhood where he had lived, with my whole family lives. And I remember driving there and I was smelling pot in my car the whole way there. And he was a pothead, but whatever. Back then it was like such a bad thing. Now, it's like no big deal. But anyway, I smelled pot in my car the entire way there. And I was just sitting inside my car, just, the coroner, and they were all in his apartment. And he was like giving me signs the entire way. It was truly beautiful. And so I never got many signs after that, and I was always wondering like why don't I have signs? Like why is he not like showing me anything? Like why such a strong sign, and then just boom, it just stops and never comes back. And then a few years ago I started like discovering my spirituality and whatnot, and um, you know I finally started connecting more and started like paying attention more and really wanting answers and all that stuff. And then um I always thought that maybe he was like stuck, like maybe he didn't find the light, maybe he was stuck in a dark place, because he was going through a hard time in his life at the time. So I just always, and I would tell my aunts, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like, I just feel like he's stuck. Like, I feel like he's not at peace. I feel like he's not, finding his way, like a lost soul almost. And I've been praying to him so much and thinking about him so much. And I talk to him more than I usually do. And, I'm trying to be more conscious and aware of that, because if I was gone, I would want somebody to do that for me too. Um, and then, so my dad's death anniversary is February. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I always mix it up. I don't know why. His birthday is in February. So 2 days after my dad's birthday, I have a dream of my uncle. And this wasn't just a dream. This was a visitation. So in my dream, he didn't say anything, but what he did show me was he was going like this. And he was going like this with his hair. And he was like leaning down and he was just like smiling and like, brushing his hands through his hair and like showing me that his hair was back and like, And I honestly, I got goosebumps. I got hair on my arms going up because I truly feel like me speaking to him and me praying for him, like, really helped him get into a better place. And you know what? I'm proud to take responsibility for that. I'm not saying not I'm the only one responsible for that, but I'm glad that my efforts in my heart, I truly feel like it helped. Or at least he wanted to show me, like, keep talking to me, keep thinking of me because it's working. I follow Huff Paranormal. If you guys haven't watched his videos, like, you really need to. Like, this completely changed my whole perspective on everything in the afterlife and whatnot. Um, but that was all it was. He was just showing me the scalp of his hair like this. And so that morning after I'd woken up from the dream, my I don't want to say it because he's right here. My SON said, "Mommy, there's a MAN standing at the top of the stairs watching me." And showed me the motion of what he was doing. And he said he's just standing there with his head down, tilted to the side. And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, he's like right now, he's looking at me." I said, "Wow, okay." And it kind of like bugged me out a little bit because, like, the fact that I had that dream and then he said that, and like it, it was just really, really crazy. So anyway, my message to you with my story today is, if there's someone that you lost, that we all do it. We're all guilty of this. Like, life gets in the way. We get busy, things get crazy, and we forget. And never forget our loved ones. And ironically, that whatever, I'm not even going to get into that, but just always talk to them. They're there. Like, whether you want to believe it or not, that they're listening, they hear you, they see you, talk to them. If anybody ever feels lost or forgotten, it's them because, out of sight, out of mind. And like I said, we're all guilty of that. So if there's someone that needed to hear this story, or someone that needs to, like, help someone cross over that you think may have not, like, picture them in the light, think about them, talk to them, like, they're still there. Whether you want to believe it or not, listen, everybody has their different point of view. Everybody has their different, thoughts on the subject, and you're entitled to that. That's totally fine. But what I'm saying to you is, don't forget them. You got to talk to them. You got to believe it, because if it was you on the other end, believe me, just imagine what that would feel like to, you know, yeah, you can think about them, but talk to them, speak out loud, let them hear you. We're all energy. Energy never dies, it just keeps going. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope I didn't make it too long and too boring. And I hope for those that had read my spellings know where I'm going with that. So, um, all right, guys. Well, I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Take care, guys. Bye.